Welcome back, my beautiful humans, to another episode of If I Die Tomorrow. If you're new here, thanks for joining us. If you've been with me since the beginning, thank you. Thank you for coming back every week. I'm not even going to lie, this week has been emotional. And I'm going to try and get through this episode without crying. There is no guarantee, though. You know, we all have those weeks, days, sometimes hours or minutes. It's real touch and go. I boarded that train, and I'm running the route. But again, so glad you joined me today for another rousing episode. I'm going to tell you, last week we talked about, being the soul keeper of a language or a relationship that just you and someone else shared. Today, I've always wanted this. See, I've always wanted this to be a space where we could strip away all of the noise and talk about what actually matters and what actually it means to live a life of intentional legacy, deep connection, and quiet honesty. And it's not always easy. It's not always fair. But it is the life we have. And I want to tell you, so, it's hard to be a guardian of things. And it's hard to do it alone. Sometimes it's hard to do it with another person. But I want to talk today about another kind of quiet weight that we carry. I want to talk about the things that we don't say. Let's think about our phone, for example. Instant Messenger, TikTok, any of them. Okay? And you or a messaging app. And you start to write. You start typing away, and we look at it and we hit delete. And we start typing again and we hit delete. Or we're on the other end of it and we're part of this conversation and we send back a reply and you see the ellipsis, up and down, and you're just waiting for their response. And after like 5 minutes, there's nothing. And you think, okay, what did I miss? Or what didn't they say to me? Why didn't they say it to me? Now, I use that as an example, but the truth of the matter is, we do have a draft folder in our soul. We spend so much of our time curating our thoughts and waiting for the perfect moment to tell someone how much they matter to us. Or we wait until we think a reasonable amount of time may have passed before, there was a friction, and we think maybe it's died down a little. But we always tell ourselves the lie that we'll tell them someday, when things are less busy, or they don't seem upset, or the timing is better. But if I die tomorrow, The tragedy isn't just that my time was cut short. It's the reality that the most beautiful, honest things I have felt about the people in my life, I never told them. I left them in the draft folder of my heart and soul. Why do we do this? Well, there's lots of reasons. But why do we hold back words that could actually be an anchor for someone else? Often it is because we are waiting for the perfect script. We think that to tell someone that they've altered the course of our life, we need a grand stage, a flawless greeting card, or a long uninterrupted dinner, or some kind of speech. We get caught up in wanting to deliver this poetic, masterful thought and sentence. And because we can't think of it, we say nothing at all. Now, I will be honest with you. I say thank you. And sometimes when I'm telling somebody that they've impacted my life, I honestly tell them, I don't have words bigger than thank you. I do have gratitude and humility, and the way you have touched my life means more than you will know. So thank you. It's not a grand gesture. It's not big fancy words, but it's honest. And that's what the people in your life deserve. That honesty, that raw, simplistic honesty. In my years of living and viewing people's behaviors, including my own, and listening to people, some of the deepest regrets is not that they didn't care, it's that they felt too much. And the sheer volume of their gratitude or love paralyzed them. We hold on to our deepest appreciation because it feels too heavy or too vulnerable to drop into a casual Tuesday afternoon conversation. Which I get it. When we talked about there are like legacy questions and you really shouldn't ask them in the grocery store, but I do. So this is along the same lines. We talk ourselves out of saying it because we're too busy trying to control the who, what, when, where, and why. And more importantly, the how. And we also tell ourselves, well, the other person might not think that this was done right, or that it wasn't big enough, or I'm sorry, what? If they love you and you're telling them that you appreciate them, that's all they care about. And I'm going to tell you, this isn't just about romantic relationships. Or if you lose a lifelong partner or a friend. This belongs to the 20-something who wants to tell a manager, the way you supported me in that meeting changed how I view my own worth. It belongs to the adult child sitting across from a parent. Or the friend who wants to say, I know we haven't talked in months, but I randomly remembered the road trip we took. And I just wanted to say thank you for being my safe place and making those memories with me. There's a profound universal hunger to be witnessed, to be seen. Every single person you walk past today is carrying an invisible question. Does it matter that I'm here? And it absolutely matters that you're here. When you withhold a genuine piece of appreciation or a quiet truth because you're overthinking it, you are denying someone the answer to that question. We think we are protecting our dignity by staying reserved, but we are actually starving our relationships of the very oxygen that they need to thrive. I want to share an idea with you that has kept me grounded when I find myself overthinking my communication. Oh, yes. And if you've been with me here for a long time, like that would ever happen. Of course it happens all the time. I'm a human being. I'm beautifully human. A hot mess and all. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. Love is not an archive meant to be sealed until the end of the story. It is the conversation we have in the margins while the pages are still turning. We don't need a formal announcement, which, funny, we all have those people in our lives where, and maybe you don't put it this way, but the truth of the matter is it's like, you always have somebody in your life that is like, well, you didn't invite me, and your relationship with them is so valued and treasured that they don't need an invitation. And we used to say, well, you don't need a hand-engraved invitation to come over. You don't need to wait for that. You're welcome at any time. And that's how we should have all of our relationships feel. And that's why by withholding it, we're not giving them that. We're letting them have that question. So again, we don't need a formal announcement. We just need to scribble our love in the margins of our daily life. Send the unpolished text. Leave the voicemail that simply says, I was thinking about you today, and I'm really glad you exist. Drop the expectation. Drop the expectation that it has to lead to some deep, intense, emotional breakthrough. Just plant the seed. Plant the seed of grace and walk away. As I end this today, I want to challenge you. I want you to take a look at your own internal draft folder. Who's the person that came to your mind when you first thought about it? Whose name made your heart skip a beat? I want you to not wait for a milestone. Don't wait for an anniversary or a holiday. And for God's sakes, don't wait for a tragedy. Reach out today. Let your words be clumsy, but heartfelt. Let them be simple and honest, but let them be sent and said. The people in your inner room deserve to hear the text of your heart while you're still here to read it to them. So take a breath, clear out your draft folders, and let someone know that they are seen. As always, be kind, be grateful, stay humble.